This is Russ Andersson. Today I'm going to demonstrate a camera and object tracking shot with a tripod mode solution for the camera. So here's our shot, and it is a HD resolution shot, just a truck driving by, and we're going to start out with the object mode track. And to do that, we're going to do add a moving object. You see over here, we're now selected to the object so that the trackers we're going to create are going to go onto that new moving object. Now, this is all going to be supervised tracking. So I'm just going to start out doing a couple of tracks here. And this is going to be following roughly the process described in the other tutorial named Care and Feeding of Supervised Trackers. So I'm just going to start running through this. It's not terrifically visible for the web capture process just because everything whips by kind of fast and not all the frames are captured. So I just did one initial track there to start with. I'm going to do another one here. And we'll just adjust each of the keys here as we do it. And after that, we're going to go back and do a second pass. We should have some blending going on there as well. So we'll just tweak that back into place. And after we do each track, we're going to set it to be done. And you'll notice that the truck has a bunch of different things to track. We can get the corners of things here, as well as the various lights and things. A lot of this happens using the keyboard accelerators. So this isn't really too exciting to watch, and it's just going to take some time. So at this point, I'm going to cut away and work out a bunch more trackers, and I'll be back in just a second. Here we are back again. You can see I've done a bunch of tracking, just all more of the same. And I've got trackers laid out here around the truck. The obvious sort of target here is along this side, but note that adding more trackers along the sides, where things are flat, doesn't really help all that much. We're looking for things that exhibit perspective, and for that purpose, things over here on the left-hand side of the truck are the things that are really going to make this work. So we've got our track. Let's switch over to the quad view, and we'll start up the solver. Before we go and do that, we want to go and disable the camera for now. And here goes our initial track. We're sitting here 2.48 horizontal pixels. And got a not too great looking thing here. So let's just turn on slow but sure and try this again and see what we get. And now we're getting a much better looking sort of solution. Now you notice, just going to switch to the top view. Now here's our moving object, is this big pyramid-y sort of thing. The camera is fixed. Here are all our points moving towards the camera, and the camera is fixed. Now, what we really want now is to set up a coordinate system that makes the object sort of more co-located with the object trackers themselves. So to do that, let's go set up a coordinate system, and that's my origin there, and I'm going to actually put this one point here along the y-axis. It's the front to back setting there. And this one down here normally would be on the XY plane, which would be the ground plane, but instead here we're going to make it on the YZ plane because it's kind of going to be underneath that top part there. And now we'll go over and we'll just refine our solution. Now we get something like this. Where we've got the truck coming in towards the camera. Now, of course, the camera still is not moving, so this still doesn't make a whole lot of sense yet. So now we're ready for the next part of this, which is to set up the track for the camera itself. Now the camera is effectively on a tripod. It was actually a handheld shot, but the camera motion was comparatively small. So we're going to switch and now start creating trackers on the camera itself. And you'll notice that the trackers on the object now change color to indicate that they're not associated with the current object. So we're going to go and do the same thing, but now we're going to be looking for features on the background. So we can just kind of pick a bunch of stuff out of the trees here. And start tracking through it. And so there's one initial tracker. And we'll lock it up. Same thing, we'll go back and here's a nice rock. So it went off screen pretty quickly. But there's another tracker. So once again, I'm going to go and cut away, and I'm going to create a bunch more trackers throughout this shot. And I'm going to be taking a look at the coverage of those trackers using the lifetimes panel here to make sure I get a complete set. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute once I've got this. Here we are. Now we have a bunch of trackers on the background that we're going to use just for the camera. So here's the lifetimes display. And one thing you need to do to get the right color code is to go and switch the camera to tripod mode. So now we see that we have enough trackers here for all of the frames to get a nice tripod solve. So let's go now and take a look at this top view. Kind of show most of what's going on. And we've got the camera down here right now, and it is fixed through the shot, and the truck is always approaching it and kind of spinning slowly as it does. So now let's go and do the tripod solve and see what happens. And now you see a bunch of points here. These points in an arc are the far points, and they're at a fixed distance away from the camera. And if you notice down at the bottom, you'll see the camera is now arcing along that path, matching the pan motion during the shot. And now we have the object here following its path, and now you see a much better idea of what the actual 3D path is. The road has got a gentle curve in it as it came up the hill there, and you'll see here's the front of the vehicle and the back all kind of tagging along, and we have a coordinate system set up that corresponds to that truck. So our view kind of looks the same from the camera view itself, but now the camera is arcing in the right direction, so we see a much better idea of what the path is like. Now at this point, let's go and just show what we might do with the truck. Now the thing that strikes me is maybe we need to have a rock band playing in the side of the truck or something. But what we can do, just for a quick look, is switch to object mode here for the truck. And now sort of the truck is what's standing still here in the top view, and the other views as well, and the camera and everything else is moving. So what we can do, maybe from the right view, is we'll just drop something onto the side of the truck there, and presto, now you've got something on the side of the truck. And to make a rock band here, you have to do a bunch of camera mapping gags to be able to see sort of what looks like the inside of the truck, but you get the right idea for what we've done. And because we've actually gone and done the camera track as well, we're in a position now we could do particle effects, and like if we wanted to have trailing smoke, say, and that would still behave with the proper physics, because the motion of the camera is being taken into account in the whole process. So it would come out in a satisfying manner. We could go and rearrange the whole thing a bit more to try and get the road in some particular orientation if we wanted or something. But if we just want to do something to the truck, we're probably in pretty good shape. And I think we will bring this show to an end. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. The source files and SynthEyes scene files are all available on the web for you to take a look at. Thanks a lot.